coming online. All right. I think we're online on both platforms. Okay. So, I thought today it would be nice. What I've been wanting to do for a while is a playthrough that is a little more accessible for starting out. So we're gonna go maybe a little on the slower side today and sort of explain some core systems. So hopefully that'll make things a little more palatable. The reason I've been wanting to do this is because they disabled the tutorial because they haven't updated them for the recent updates, including phase change, which is, I mean, I kind of wish they had just disabled a couple because like airlocks haven't really changed, but you know, it is what it is. So we're gonna make a new world. I'm gonna stick with Mars just because honestly I feel like Mars is genuinely a better start than the moon for first time playthrough. I would not recommend any of the others, except maybe Asteroid Belt, but even then I feel like you're missing a good chunk of the game by doing Asteroid Belt. So I like to start with Mars. We're gonna stick with normal, which will still stop us from eating and drinking while our helmet is closed. And we'll have to not die. And yeah, I think a lot of that is pretty self-explanatory on normal. And we'll name it not die with me. Which not die is a verb. And that's the opposite of die with me. We don't want to die. We want to not die. It says I'm playing Fortnite? And I believe, yes, I have VODs enabled, so the video will save at least for some time. I think the last few videos are accessible on my Twitch. So, and I think YouTube saves them as well. I'm pretty sure on YouTube they'll persist forever. So, this will save. This is not Fortnite. Don't know why it says I'm playing Fortnite. First thing I like to do is I like to take my wrench from my tool belt, which you can just, I use shortcuts and stuff, but you can just hold Alt, left Alt to get your cursor, and you can do most things with your cursor. It's a little bit slower than the other ways. It's faster at first though, when you're not used to the other ways. So you can just hold left Alt, click your tool belt, pull the wrench into one of your hands, and then hitting E switches which hand is your hand you're using. And I like to just have the tool in the right hand just because I'm right-handed, but it really doesn't matter. So you can use the wrench to pull these crates off of your lander. I'm just gonna pull them all off. I used to leave them on there. These days, I tend to take them off immediately. All right, let me get the most important Containers. One thing to watch out for is when you click this, you'll notice it just kind of snaps right in front of you. If you do that at the wrong spot, then it could cause you problems. So try to make sure there's enough room when you click it in front of you to where it's not going to be like stuck inside of something. But we're going to take our most important crates, which are going to be the 2 yellow crates that are labeled construction supplies. I'm going to pull those aside. I need to decide where I want to put my base. There's a hill there. The sun rises over there. Trying to decide for like a greenhouse. Where do I want to build? I'm just going to build in the middle of the flat expanse. That seems like a reasonable enough choice. So I want to start out with a pretty good greenhouse. Okay. So our construction supplies 1 crate. This is going to have our basic building materials. So I'm going to grab a few of these, and let me just free up some space in my inventory. So first up, I'm going to open my tablet and put a cartridge in there just to get it out of my inventory. You don't have to do that. I'm just trying to free as much space in my inventory as possible because it makes it more convenient. We need the iron frames, which you can click to take them out, or you can hold E and drag them. Whatever you prefer. I'm gonna do iron sheets, iron frames, iron walls. That should give me the structure. I'm also gonna take this portable solar panel from my jetpack. I'm gonna put it out. You can just drag it out and drop it. I don't really know why I'm doing that because I don't have any batteries that are drained that I need to charge. But we'll come back to that. Alright, let's start getting some frames placed down. You do that by putting your frames in your active hand and then right-clicking. And that will put this sort of like ghost outline out. Oh, that's a moon. That's cool. It'll put a ghost outline out, and that'll show you where you're placing it down. And I'm going to start with a structure that's something like a 2x3, like that. We'll start with that. The default key for your jetpack is J. You have a limited amount of jetpack gas that's here in your suit. Is it? No, it's not. It's here in your jetpack, this propellant slot. So you'll see as I'm using my jetpack, that propellant slot is losing pressure. So Layla, I'm thinking about going live more often. I've been wanting to for a while, and I keep not doing it. But I'm gonna see if there's, you know, like people who care about watching me play this game, because I mean, I don't want to just be talking to myself. But, if people watched it, that would be something that I would be interested in doing. Especially because I love this game very much. Okay, so next up, we want to put our iron sheets in our hand. And we're going to learn about build states. So build states are, well, the easiest way to explain it is just to show you. So if you pull out any tool, well, most tools, and you look at this iron frame, it says on the right there, welding torch and 1 iron sheets is required to continue construction. And an angle grinder is required to deconstruct. So what that means is, if I pull out an angle grinder and point at it, you'll see it lets me deconstruct. And if I pull out my welding torch, then it says it's not operable for this task. That's because it's off. So you can right-click to turn it on. And in case you guessed from the jetpack, if you open your welding torch by clicking it, there's also a fuel tank for your welding torch, which will go down slowly as you're using your welding torch. There's a lot of gas in there, so you don't really have to worry about it early on, but just don't leave it on forever. Also, don't leave it on and then forget about it, because I I've had that cause problems before. It can heat up the air around it. Sometimes on some planets so hot that the gas tank will explode. You don't want that happening. Layla, the two platforms are YouTube and Twitch. that is okay. Disconnecting the boxes is a good step. Which actually, let me drag my boxes over to where I'm actually building. And somehow it is already almost dusk. The Martian sky is about to get dark. Which we do have a light, but it's a little harder to build at night. I could use a road flare, that might help. But those are kind of, those road flares kind of make me want to like gouge my eyes out. They're pretty bad. They're great for heating up rooms, but if you want them as a light source, not the best option. One of the reasons I like to take all this stuff off the lander early on is because storms will damage the lander. And you don't want your boxes on the lander when that happens. I don't know if that's still that way, but I believe they used to just go away if the lander broke. You just would lose all of the crates that were on the lander, which is not good. You're starting a Mars base, you want all of the stuff that you launched with. Alright, sun's going down, so we're gonna press L to turn on our headlamp. L for light. Makes sense. And we're gonna keep going. Okay. The framing came from Construction Supplies 1. So when you look at the crate, it'll tell you what name it is. It's one of the yellow crates. Construction Supplies 1 has iron frames. There. The dark is really disorienting. Yeah. What I'm gonna try to do is as soon as possible, I'm gonna try to build a portable light for reasons of lighting, just so it's less disorienting for viewers. But we need some manufacturing supplies for that. I probably could have, like, gone into creative mode and spawned one if I had been smart when we built our world, but I didn't. So I'm gonna have to build them legit. Okay. We've got our framing placed. So I'm gonna grab the welding torch. I'm gonna put it in my hand. Right click to turn it on. I've got iron sheets in my left hand. And I'm gonna hold left click. So that's, we've gone from the initial build state to the second build state. And this is not airtight, but you can walk on it. Now if I turn the welding torch back on and left click it again, then it goes to the final build state, which is sealed. So this will keep air in. So different devices and constructibles have different build states. And in the case of frames, you can use whatever you need. If you don't need to seal the air in, you can just do it the once, and that's totally fine. But in our case, we're building a greenhouse, so I do want to weld these up all the way so that they will hold in air. Like so. Now we've got a little platform. It is very dark, isn't it? I'll try to slow my mouse movements a little bit. Yeah, the buzz cut is quite a look, but there's like 3 haircuts in this game for men, and none of them look good, so buzz cut it is. Residential and building 2. That's alarming. I don't know if it fell into a hole or if it's still on there and the yellow is making it blend into the lander. You should have residential, building 1, and building 2, and those are all 3 of the yellow ones. That's true. Most of them don't look good in real life either. That's a fair point. That's a fair point. If you don't have building supply or construction supplies 1 and you can't find it and it's nowhere, you're genuinely going to have to start a new world because there is no way to continue without construction supplies 1. It's not possible because that's where your arc furnace is, and there's no way around that early game. So if you found it, okay, awesome. Because yeah, if you don't have that, you're jacked. You're jacked. Okay. So I've got my frames down. I'm gonna do the same thing with walls. You just right click to make the outline, and then you just put the walls where you put the walls. You can also rotate by either pressing C, and that'll just kind of rotate through the options like this. But see, this annoys me, because then what about when it's over here? Well, now you've turned it the wrong way. Yeah, it's a little annoying. So what I prefer to do is I use the keys above the arrow keys. Insert home, page up, page down, delete. Because these let me control which way I'm rotating, which I find to be much easier. But if you're like on a laptop and you don't have that, you can just press C a bunch of times till it's rotated how you want it. You can also scroll on your mouse wheel to move through different variants of what you're building, if there are. You can see on the little pop-up that's there, it says 1 of 5. That's because there's variants, so I can scroll through them. And I want windows, because we're building a greenhouse. And a greenhouse without glass is a stupid idea. Yeah, building in the dark is really hard. If you hate your eyeballs, what you can do is you can get these road flares, and you can hold right-click, and it lights up a road flare. And that makes it a lot redder. Very abrasive on the eyes. I can, if you put them a distance away, it's not horrible, but it's a lot. It's a lot. I might, if I balance this up high, that's actually not so bad. I'm gonna stick with the road torch for now, because it makes things a little bit less dark. But yeah, let me continue with the walls. The moons are new. In fact, all of the celestial movement pretty much is new. They've revamped it completely, and it makes it pretty fun to just stare at the sky at night. That looks pretty great. Staring at the Earth when you're on the moon is also pretty amazing. But I like on Mars how you can see like that right there. Pretty sure that's a moon. That's definitely a moon. It's fun. Okay. Walls. So we're gonna stick with like glass walls almost all around, but we are going to need an airlock. So I'm gonna leave one spot open for an airlock. Okay. And I'm gonna leave the airlock here, I think. I can't remember which side the sun set on. I think it was that side. So I actually am gonna put the airlock on the other side, because I don't want to get rid of any sunlight for the plants. So I'm gonna grab my angle grinder and grind up this side. And leave that side empty for the airlock. How I'm placing items down cleanly like this is press T, and then you can just place it. Or you can hit Q if you want to toss it, or you can hold Q if you want to throw it like a maniac, which is my favorite way of doing things. Hold Q, chuck it like a maniac. Very entertaining. Yeah, this is an ankle grinder. It's you know, when you're having a bad day, Suddenly an angle grinder and an ankle grinder don't look so different. Alright, I'm gonna put a frame here where I wanted my airlock. And I'm also, while I'm at it, I'm just gonna build a work deck over here. We're just gonna half build the frames just so we have a little platform to stand on and work on. Like so. Okay. While I'm here, I'm gonna grab the kit for doors that's in construction supplies too. Kit for doors. Don't be afraid to use your jetpack if you need to maneuver around. For instance, like right here, I could I could jump, but it's easier to just use my jetpack. Yes, if you're building in the ground, you want to use frames. You can use walls for the ground. Like, it is possible to just place floating walls like this. But you can't build everything on walls. Some things have to be on frames. So it's best to just make your floor out of frames. So frames for the floors. And then walls for the ceiling and walls. Windows, etc. And I want my walls down. Yeah. That. And then just like with the other frames, I'm going to weld up this frame. And then I'm going to pull out my iron sheets in my hand. And I am going to aim at the walls. And I'm going to hold left click to put the iron sheets on the walls. You have to do that with the windows too. You look at the frame and you put the iron sheets on the frame. Our road flare ran out, but the sun's coming up, so that's okay. Make sure to get all these window frames built up. Like that. Looking good. And now I'm going to go get the glass, which is in Construction Supplies 1. Glass sheets. And we're going to apply them to the windows. Like that. Building like this is kind of calming, I feel like. Okay. Now we've got all the windows done up, so now you can't walk through them anymore, which is great, because that means they'll hold air. In fact, if I just grab my welding torch and just run it for a second, you can see the air movement heading towards the door, because that's the only place air can escape. So all the hot air rushes toward the door. So we're looking good. I'm gonna grab these door kits. And I'm gonna leave that for a second just to make sure everyone's caught up before I start building the airlock, because airlocks are important. Airlocks are real important. So in the meantime, I'm going to I'll weld up my work deck a little. I think I have enough iron sheets for that, at least for a few of these. And where are my frames? I put them away. Put it like that. Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay, get a little work deck. I'm going to... May as well swap my battery. Put this in the charger. Doing a little housekeeping. Okay, so if you put a frame somewhere it shouldn't go, you can use your angle grinder to pick it back up. Like that. The angle grinder is your friend. Housekeeping. Angle grinder undoes many mistakes. You can also, like, you can use the angle grinder to pull up, floor isn't okay. If it's not solid, that's when you want to get your iron sheets in one hand and your welding torch in another hand. And then you want to right click and then weld up the, frames. Which I have 12 sheets left. I want to weld anything else up more. I don't remember how many iron sheets I'm going to need for stuff, so I'm just going to save it for now. We'll expand the work deck later. Okay, while I'm waiting for everybody to get caught up, I am just going to I'm going to move some items inside where they'll be a little safer if the storm happens. That seems like a good use of time. You don't have to carry the medical pill on you. That you can very safely chuck aside to save inventory space. Road flares. Arc analyzer cartridge. Yeah. Grab my green crate. Put it inside. Grab my oxygen. May as well move my solar panel inside. It's still working here. The sheets will be in construction supplies 1. And they look like this. Yes, I would leave 1 square for an airlock like this. 1 square for an airlock. So I just kind of like made 1 frame jut off from the others. And then didn't put a wall here. So we want doors. Grab the portable generator, portable hydroponics. Put those inside. Yep.
Hydration critical.
Oh, I'm getting thirsty. That was really fast to get thirsty, actually. That's alarming. Oh, we should have a pressurized environment in a second. think when you're on normal difficulty, if you die, it's not the end of the world. They really like trying not to die, though. Okay. This inside. And that. Pretty good. Iron sheets. If the iron sheets won't go down. So, where are my iron sheets? Let's see. So when you're looking at a frame that's not built with the welder in your hand, it's going to tell you on the right side why it can't build. So in this case, if I didn't have the sheets, it would say you don't have the sheets. If I turn it on, I still don't have the sheets. If I put the sheets there, whoop, if I put the sheets there, it's going to say it's not operable, and that's just because we have to turn the torch on. And then when you look at it, it'll say construct, and it'll be yellow. And then you can weld them on. But you can't put the sheets straight on the frame. You can put the sheets straight on a wall. Excuse me. But you cannot put the sheets straight onto a frame unless you have the welding torch out. Hmm. I need to think ahead a little bit. Might just use the oxygen from the tank instead of mining oxide at first. We need water soon. Yep. If you got the frames going on, and then if you weld up a frame and you didn't mean to, you can pull the sheets back off with a wrench. Sheets in one hand and welding torch in the other hand. The welding torch comes from your tool belt down here. And it's bottom left. Okay, what is it when you're holding the welder? Oh, is it still like that? Hold on. Let me see. Test. Is it behaving? It's acting right for me. On my side. Hold up, let me listen to the stream. Okay, right on. Good. Let me pause the game. Is the stream working? I'm speaking with my voice. It sounds normal to me when I listen back to the stream. Does it still sound weird to you, Layla? It could be on your side. Yeah. It seems like it's working okay. For the roof, you want to use walls. I mean, technically you could build your roof out of frames, but you're not going to get a lot of sunlight that way. So I would do walls for roof. Headphones. Headphones on Windows. Full of surprises. Okay. And for the walls, anytime you're wondering how to build it further next, you can just look at it with a tool and it'll tell you what you need to build it more. Like you can just put a tool in your hand and then look at it and it'll tell you what you need to finish building it. And we're getting real thirsty. So I'm gonna do something silly. Thinking. I'm gonna do something real silly. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna block myself in by placing a wall here. I'm gonna place a wall here. Like that. We're now in a sealed room. Test that by running my welder. Did that do what I think it did? Pretty sure I'm in a sealed room. Alright, I'm in a sealed room. I'm gonna just open my oxygen tank a little bit and get some oxygen in the room. I tell you what, I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna pause until everybody's got a sealed room. I'm gonna pause until everybody's got a sealed room. That seems like the play. So I'm gonna be wasting oxygen by doing this, but that's okay because we can get oxygen back by mining oxide. That just means that one of the first things we're gonna have to build is gonna be an ice crusher because we're wasting some of our oxygen because I'm just planning on just sealing the room up, letting out some oxygen so that I can take my helmet off and drink, and then I'm just gonna open the wall and let out all the oxygen. Because I'm thirsty, and you do what you gotta do when you're thirsty. So the walls, if you placed the windows, you'll have to add glass. You'll have to add iron sheets and then glass sheets to seal the walls. Otherwise, you can just, like, walk through them. And if you can walk through them, that means air can walk through them. I love this game. I love this game a lot. I love this game because it's full of accidents. And reacting to the accidents is funny. I like this game because you can accidentally vent explosive hydrogen gas into your base and then blow it up. Is it all the walls? Forgot to add windows. Oh, okay. If you didn't add windows, that's okay. That's okay. You can swap it later. And you can put in like a couple of windows later. So if, for now, just like, I would just seal it up. Because you're going to need some space where you can breathe. Yeah, 5 viewers, but then they left. Turns out pausing your game makes people get bored. All the walls. Yeah, all walls is fine. All walls is fine. It's just gonna delay when you start growing plants. But that's okay, because priority number 1 is like not dying right now. I like to think when you're building a Mars base. Yeah, I would get the oxygen tank, I would bring it in. Yeah. I think when you're building a Mars base, if you're faced between doing 2 things, and one of them's gonna kill you now, and one of them's gonna kill you later, you fix the thing that's gonna kill you now. And later, you figure out later when the thing that's gonna kill you now isn't gonna kill you now anymore. Seems like straightforward logic, I think. Okay. So here's what we do. We got the oxygen tank. Here's how to read this thing. When you look at the dial, it's gonna tell you the pressure, the temperature, how big it is in liters. We got plenty of pressure left. That's why it's in the red. We're like, this thing is maxed out. When they go around to the back, you got this dial. You can see when you look at one, it says increase. When you look at the other side, it says decrease. So that basically vents the oxygen to the room. So if I go to increase and I click it, you can see air is moving. Air is moving. And if you look in the bottom right, this external, that's our pressure. So we're at 5 kilopascals of pressure. We're still in the red. Once this gets to the yellow, we can safely-ish breathe. That's all we're looking for here. So to grab and drag it, you want to aim at these little handholds here. These guys will let you pick it up. And then you hit Q to drop it. There's no such thing as silly questions when you're trying not to die on a Mars base. That's what I think. And this game is complicated. So things that seem simple sometimes aren't very simple. Mm-hmm. Vent it a little bit more. Yeah. Yeah, I remember that, Lila. Yeah. This game does use, like, I would say non-standard. It has non-standard controls. And at first I thought that was really stupid. And I was like, why did the developers do this? Like, these controls are... Why didn't they just do it the normal way? And then I got playing to, like, an advanced level, and I was like, oh, that's why. But it is very... It's... When you're getting started, it's really... It's not a normal game. Like, they do things a little differently. It's red. It's in red. Okay, yeah. The dial is in red. The dial is in red. That's good. That means it's full. So what you do now is you walk around to the back and you click increase like once, maybe twice. Oh, I'm dying. Once, maybe twice, so that it says like output 20 kPa. That means it's filling the room with oxygen. It's venting oxygen from the tank into the room. Yeah, okay. So the red means good. Let me explain. This is how pressurized the tank is. And they are kind enough to ship the lander with an oxygen tank that's so full, it is right before the point where it would explode. So red just means it's got a whole lot of oxygen in it. And also, don't heat up the tank, because that could make it explode. Okay. So you want to be venting slowly-ish. And then once down here, once external says 20 kPa, then you can go ahead and spam click the decrease button. So just kind of let it vent a little bit. And then I'm going to decrease it. And you can click increase a few times to speed things up, but then just don't forget and leave it on, or you'll vent all of your oxygen, and you need that. So now we're at 22 kilopascals. That's breathable. So I'm gonna open my helmet, unlock it, open it. I'm gonna drink water. Do make sure that the room is closed in. Do make sure the room is closed in before you start venting your oxygen. You wanna, so I just stuck a metal wall over my airlock, just to make sure I was closed in, just so the air doesn't escape. That's a step we want to remember. Okay. I had a sippy of my Dwinky Winky. Which, by the way, if you open up your uniform here, you always start with a water bottle and a can of tomato soup. Ah, dang. Okay. If you're unconscious, you'll respawn. You'll respawn. That did you maybe open your helmet? I might have guided you to open your helmet when it was not safe to do so. That might be what happened. Cuz if I open my helmet when there's not air in here, I'll go unconscious. Actually, I can demonstrate that. If I just grab my crowbar and I just pull this wall off, let all the oxygen out. There it goes. Bye-bye. Yeah, your person will die. And then you just gotta respawn. It's, unlike in real life, dying is, only slightly inconvenient. On normal difficulty. On stationeer difficulty, dying is the worst thing ever. But on this difficulty, it's not so bad. Yeah, so if I open my helmet,
pressure critical.
Those lovely warning indicators mean we're doing great. You'll hear my guy straining to breathe, and this little guy says, I'm about to go unconscious. And so if I sit here, it sure is getting, hard to see. Cognition critical. I think that means I'm getting stupid. And then I'm unconscious. But then if you give up, you will respawn in a peasant suit. And the peasant suit lets you get back to your body and take the stuff off of it. I'm gonna grab, I'm gonna click the body. Oh, Sicken is currently wheezing. That's... Okay. So if you can see the person on the floor, you just walk up to them and then you just find where it's yellow and pick them up by clicking. That's all you do. And then you got this guy. You got the guy. You got the guy. Got the guy. This is too entertaining for me. You got the guy, and then when you click in your hand, then you can take all the stuff. I'm gonna steal the backpack, uniform, steal the belt. And then really, really fast, I'm gonna try to steal the suit and the helmet together. And then I have to remember to close the helmet because I left it open. I'm gonna put on the suit, put on the helmet, and then close the helmet. Actually, I probably could have closed the helmet before I put the suit on. But what can you do? And now, we don't need this corpse anymore. Oh. Can I throw him? No. That's no fun. There we go. And that's how you rob graves. Go, hide. Go under here. Whoops. There we go. There you go. Okay. So, was the grave robbing successful? Oh, I'm gonna lose my Duolingo streak. That's a problem for later. Okay. I'm gonna proceed with the airlock. Because we need an airlock. You need tool stuff. Ideally, you should grab the tools from your old body. Yeah, which will be the tool belt. When you're holding your corpse, then the tool belt will be here, and then you can just steal it back onto your belt slot, and then you're good to go. Okay. Grab my door kits. I'm gonna place them down in this square. You gotta place it in the square. You could wrench. You could place it. You could place it out here, like that. That's not right. You don't want that. Look down here. You're unconscious again. I bet I know why. Let me test something. Where'd I put that suit? Where? Oh, it despawned. Oh, it despawned. Well, you know what that means.
Pressure critical. Oxygen critical.
Gotta demonstrate. We're doing it again.
Cognition low. Suit damage.
Yeah. Actually, that was really stupid. That was really dumb. That was really dumb. Okay. Wow. I just did a really dumb thing. Well, I'll fix that problem later. Okay. So now we've respawned. We're in our survival suit. So now you can hear the suit leaking. That's not good. Now if I pick up the body and I click the body and I click the helmet, I can close it from here. So that's probably what you want to do. You want to pick up the body, and then click the helmet, and then make sure it's closed. Like that. And then I'm going to steal the suit.
Suit damage.
Like that. And then I'm going to fix the suit because I was an idiot and I broke it. Pressure critical. That's a great question. Is your helmet open? Because that would do it. That would do it. Instant critical. Does it stay critical even when you have both the suit and the helmet moved over? Let me think. Reasons for that.
Pressure critical. Oxygen critical.
And why do I still smell like I'm leaking air? You want to make sure your helmet's closed. Suit damaged. Okay. Alright, so that's an easy fix. You want to just find some duct tape. You might already have some in your jetpack. And you want to take the duct tape and hold it. And you want to hold right click. And that'll patch up your suit. That's what I just had to do because I threw myself from the sky. Because I was dumb. I didn't think that one through. I was like, this will have no long-term consequences whatsoever. And then I did it and I was wrong. Happens sometimes. So you just take your duct tape and you hold right click and it will patch up your suit. And then it will stop leaking. But in my case, my suit still sounds a little bit like it's leaking. But I don't know if that's a bug. Or if I just need a new suit now. But you can see my air is going down at a reasonable speed. My internal temperature is... Or, pressure is pretty close to what it's set to. It's targeting 101. Okay, so there's a little bit of a leak left. I think just because I accidentally damaged my suit a bit. But, like, it's not that bad of a leak. Could be worse. We'll fix that later. So, good enough for government work. Once we get the auto lathe set up, then I'll fix it proper. Yeah, and that is why you wanna keep duct tape on you most of the time. Because you never know when you're gonna accidentally rip your suit. It happens. Accidents happen. You wanna have duct tape on you. That happens a lot less than it used to. Because they fixed some bugs, but it happens, you know? Okay. I'm gonna pull out my welder and see. I need plastic sheets. I need plastic sheets to build up the airlock doors. So we're gonna weld on some plastic sheets. Right, looking good. And now we need a crowbar and glass sheets, it says. Now, once you've built the doors, you can use the crowbar to force them open and closed. We can do that. It's really hot in here because it's the welder, so I'm just going to open the door. Let all that out. You keep dying. I'm sorry. I wish they hadn't gotten rid of the tutorials. So repair suit. You have the suit on, and then you hold duct tape in your hand, and then you right click. You hold right click. I can probably show that by doing this again. I just punch a hole in my suit like that. So you can see my suit's damaged. I'm getting really cold. So I'm holding duct tape in my right hand, and when I click, you can see I get that thing that says patching. That fixed my suit. Now I'm gonna do it again for my helmet. And my helmet's patched up. No big deal. I just made my leak worse, but that's fine. Oh, you know what? I wonder if your I wonder if your life support battery is empty. Oh, it could be that. Okay, all right, okay. If your suit is repaired, then you might also want to check the suit to make sure that it has a battery in it that has power and an air tank that has air. That will also kill you. Suit and lungs and sleep. Oh, I wonder something. You gotta be kidding me. There we go.
Damage. Temperature low. Temperature critical.
Okay.
Pressure critical. Oxygen critical.
Oh, if I just... I
Cognition
want to
low.
test something.
Cognition critical.
If I respawn... There I am. Okay. I want to know... Yep, okay. You can, if you... Okay, here's what you can do to stop dying. You can just look at your corpse with duct tape in your hand, and then you can just fix the leak. Oh. No headlamp? Is L working? If L is not working, to toggle it. Oh, I wonder if you don't have a battery. That's probably what that is. So, okay, if I pick up the body, and then I click it, then I can click suit, and I can see that it has a battery in it. And if needed, I can put a new battery in it. Like... So, get battery. Like this. Open it up, open the suit, put in the battery. Like that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it looks like your suit is out of power. So that's what you want to do. You want to go find a battery. There's some in this blue kit, blue container. And you just pull out the battery. It can be this large one or this small one, either one. And then you can go get your suit. So hold your body. You open your body. And you open the suit on your body. And then you want to put that battery in your life support slot that you have power. Like that. That will fix your problem. Because what happened is you ran out of batteries. And then your air filtration stopped working. And so then, once I've got power in the suit, then I can put it on.
Suit damage.
And I'll be
Pressure
safe.
critical.
Oh,
Temperature low.
oh, but I forgot to fix the. I forgot to fix the suit. Let me do that.
Cognition low.
That's, and I have my helmet open, and I turned my suit off. I'm kind of dumb.
Oxygen critical.
There we go. That's a me thing. That's because I did something earlier, trying to be smart. Yeah, that's. You want these on. You want these on like that.
Power low.
I've now got quite the leak. All right, beautiful. Yeah, I should probably mention that. Okay, so to prevent further accidents, let me just give a little briefing on the suit. So when you open your suit over here by clicking it, you've got a few controls. The biggest things are you've got an air tank that holds oxygen. You've got a waste tank that holds carbon dioxide. Yeah, the corpses, you can chuck them, you can leave them there, and they'll turn into skeletons. You can do whatever you want with them. If you've got a basement, skeletons look great in the basement. What I like to do, actually, is I like to collect the skulls from my deaths and just keep them around. And it's sort of like a reminder of how often I've died. So it's... I use that as like a little, like a trophy, kind of. But that's what I do. They don't really do anything. So you can just kind of chuck your body. In fact, I probably have a corpse over here. Or a skull. Yeah, there's my skull. I'll collect that up. I'm naming him Harold. He's Harold now. Oh. Okay. So the suit. So you got air for oxygen. You got waste tank for carbon dioxide. You've got a battery that keeps your suit running. And then filters. And these filters are what filter out the carbon dioxide. So the interesting thing is, the way this works is your suit doesn't actually care whatever's in this tank. It'll just shove it into your suit. So I could put like I can swap my waste tank to be carbon dioxide, and then it would just flood my suit with carbon dioxide, and then I'd die. That is a thing you can do. You could fill your suit with explosive gas and then probably blow up your suit. That's probably a thing you could do. So all these filters do is they just take whatever gas is in your suit and shove it into the waste tank. So we've got carbon dioxide filters, so when you breathe out, you make carbon dioxide from breathing out, it just shoves it into the waste tank. If your oxygen runs low, you want to go up to this white tank here, and you want to just put this in for a second and pull it back out into your suit. You gotta be fast because it's not breathable in here right now, which means as soon as you pull this out, you're gonna stop getting oxygen pumped into your suit. So I just like drag it in like this, and then drag it right back out, and you can see it's up to 6,000 kilopascals now, so it's full. So if you need to refill your oxygen, you just you're good to go. Life support, you keep this charged. If the battery starts running low, you gotta grab a new battery. That's why I've been putting one on this portable cell. So in order to keep that life support battery up, I'm gonna show you a trick that you can use in the early game. You can grab this portable generator. I believe this starts out in the blue. Also, if you're like watching and listening, if you just hit escape, it'll pause your game and time will stop moving, which means you'll stop losing oxygen, you'll stop losing power. So if you're watching the stream, it's not a bad idea to like hit escape when you're watching something that's happening. If you're just gonna be standing there, just so that your oxygen doesn't go down and stuff. But you can go, I believe it's in this blue container when you start. You can grab the portable generator. And this guy will keep your power charged up. If I go grab a battery, boop, and I pop the battery in this slot of the portable generator, look at that. It won't turn on because it has no gas. Now, if only we started with a canister of explosive gas that we could use to run the generator. Oh wait, we do. It took me way too long to figure this out, but you have a welding torch. So you can click the welding torch and pull this fuel canister out and put it in the side. And now we can run the generator. This took me so long to figure out. Because I was like, why does this even exist? It's so hard to get fuel into a canister. Like, that's not useful early game. And then I realized you spawn with the fuel canister in your welding torch. You can just take it out and put it in the generator, and you have like pretty much infinite power for like a while, which is very, very, very helpful. So when your life support starts running out and you're gonna die, then just go grab another battery, put it in the portable generator, and pop in your gas tank and then run it. And this, if I stare at it, you can see the percentages going up slowly. Which, again, how I did that was I just held it in my hand and then I held right click and it just drops it on the ground. And then you just put your battery in, put your gas tank in, turn it on. And that will prevent that problem from ever happening again. What's the trick with the live stream? They forget when to explain certain things because I wasn't dying. I didn't know anyone else was dying. And it's about to turn green. Yeah. Love that. I'm going to steal this battery. I'm going to charge that one. The extra battery, so this blue kit has a couple of small batteries in it by default. Like right here. And those will work. There's also a big battery, I think, in one of the construction supplies. I can't remember exactly which one the second large battery is in. Might be in residential supplies. But there's a couple batteries around to choose from. You can also pull batteries out of your hand drill. You can pull a battery out of your angle grinder. You can take the battery from the portable tracker. Anywhere you can find a battery, you can pull it out and use it. They're all universal. Your tablet, your handheld tablet has a battery. There's batteries hidden all over the place. Yup. So that's basic staying alive steps. Is if you've got the generator working, then you can have power for quite a while. And if you've got the oxygen fill up figured out, then you can keep your air tank filled up for a while. When your waste tank gets full, all you have to do is click it and click open, and you'll just vent it into the room. Or you can switch it with an empty canister later on, or whatever. But early on, all you do is you click it and you hit open, and it does this. And see all the air left because I just opened the air canister and let out all the carbon dioxide that I had stored up. These filters, these will go down slowly, but we'll worry about that later. Okay. So you want to get the charger. Here, let me pull these out for demonstration purposes. Okay. So you deploy the generator by right-clicking with it. And then you put the fuel tank from your welding torch in the side. And then you put the battery in the front. Like that. Just like that. Was getting dark. We got a nice little base coming along. Got the essentials to not die. And trying to think what order we want to do this in. Get the battery charging. Let's do this. In one of these construction supplies kits, there is a autolathe and an arc furnace. They look like this. I'm going to grab my autolathe, and I'm going to grab my arc furnace. And I'm going to put them over here. I'm going to put them like this. There's the autolathe. And there's the arc furnace. Okay. These are going to help us out early on. And then to build the arc furnace, like before, we need a few things. So I'm going to grab 2 iron sheets, because it needs 2 iron sheets. There they are. Oh, it's only one. There's the others. And we swap that out. Blue means its battery's full. I'm just swapping it to a different battery. Charge that one up. And this autolathe. Oh, I can't. You know why? You know why my welder won't turn on? Because the gas tank is in the generator. So I'm gonna have to wait for a second. I was right-clicking, and I was like, "Let's not turning on." Yeah, it needs gas. All right. That's full enough for now. I'm gonna take the gas canister back out, open the welding torch, put the gas canister in the welding torch. There we go. Take our sheets. Build it up. Take the cables. The door is what the door at the airlock. I've got the airlock over here. I've got the doors placed in them. Right now I'm working on the autolathe, which is the machine that lets us build stuff. And I put that outside. I put it outside on this little like frame deck that I built. You could build this inside, but indoor space is kind of at a premium right now. So I just decided I would build it outside. Save some space. Which wants plastic sheets. Okay. Get those. Oh, gotta love the bots in chat. Warm welcome to the bots in chat. Okay, get the autolathe built up. And then I'm gonna grab the power controllers. Oh, I put this inside. It's a kit power controller. Okay. So for power controllers, how they work is, I'll put one down right here. How these guys work is when you're putting them down, you can see those arrows, right? The arrows show which way the power goes. So on this one, the right side is the input, and the left side is the output. I can use my scroll wheel to switch those. So all that means is, oh, to build, all I said to build was, well, I put down an autolathe and I put down the arc furnace. Yes, it's supposed to be outside. I put down an autolathe and an arc furnace. And with the autolathe, we did just the same thing as with frames, where you just look at it with a tool, and it tells you what you need to do. So this says hand drill to deconstruct. Do it again. Angle grinder. Wire cutters. Angle grinder. And there you go. That's how it plays down. So all you do is, when I look at it, it says you need weld on iron sheets. So I'll do that. I'll weld iron sheets. And then it says 4 cables. So you got 4 cables, which are in your tool belt. And then it says weld on plastic. And then it says screwdriver. So it'll just tell you on the panel that pops up next to it what you gotta do next. I'll just chill until you say that you finished building that. I'm trying this Mogu Mogu stuff. The fact that there's stuff in it that you chew, terrifying. Like, I know boba is like the same thing, but for some reason this is terrifying. The melon bits. And the 78% recommended daily value of sugar. What can you do? I mean, it's not like soda's any better. The funniest thing about this game to me is that once you stop feeling like you're just keeping yourself alive, kind of becomes a different game. Like when you're trying to stay alive, there's no time to optimize, because you just have to do whatever it takes to not die. And you're just kind of trying to like expand a little bit so that you can not die a little slower. But then once you get to a certain point where it feels like your base is fairly sustainable, then something else happens where it becomes like expansion. And it kind of feels like two different games to me. Like expansion and optimization versus trying not to die. Yep. I think those started out in construction supplies too. Yes, the battery running out. Yup. Hey, but you didn't. Yep, I always try to keep a second battery charged. I mean, I don't always. Sometimes I don't. But it's a good idea to keep a second battery charged at all times so you can just hot swap it in if you start dying. For oxygen, we have a decent amount right now. That will start running low, but there's stuff we can do about that later. Can't really do about anything about that until we get our manufacturing line set up. Start building new stuff. I really wish that they just shipped you with a second active vent on Mars. That would make things so much easier. Actually, let me think about that. We might be able to start with just a normal airlock. Non-advanced to start with. Let me play with that idea. Wonder, if I had a console here. If I had a console here, how would that work? I have base air that gets saved. Depressurized to 0, but it's almost 0 outside, so that's fine. And then we get a little bit of toxins in the base. I guess that's not so bad. Let me see. Where are my pipes? Oh, they're in my inventory. Ha ha. Okay. That's everything we need for an airlock. I'm feeling really scared of a storm right now. If a storm hit, I would be in big trouble. You would be in big trouble if a storm hits. Yes. So you want to get the power controller. Yeah, let me demonstrate that now. So you want to get a power controller. You want to put it down so that the output, the out arrow, is going toward your machines. Like that. I'm gonna put that down like that. And then, when you look at it, it says crowbar required to open. That's because you can take a crowbar and we can pry this open like that. That lets you interact with it, turn stuff on and off, and then close it back up so it looks good. So, we'll set that up like that. Then, we want to grab these cable coils. We want to just wire up these machines. How you do that is you right click, hit the ghost outline, and then you just hit C to rotate. Rotate it until it's yellow like that because it's plugged in into this little power thing. You can see there's a little icon here for power, and there's a little icon here for data. We don't care about data right now. We just want power. So you just plug a cable coil into power like this. I'm going to bring this one over like that. And then I'm going to scroll until I have a cable that can connect to all 3 of these sides. Junction here. And then I'm going to connect them all together like that. Yeah, if you want to move the arc furnace, you can use hand drill. Like that. Put it in your hand. You can put it back down. If you put your arc furnace in a funky place, then you can hand drill it up. And then you can just plug it in with your cable coils, and you're good to go. While we're at it, let me grab a battery. Okay. Alright, so we got our autolathe plugged in. We got our furnace plugged in. We got our power controller plugged in. How this works is we're going to put a battery in the power controller, and then that energy is going to come out of this side since this is the output. It's got the little lightning bolt. And then it's going to go into the arc furnace port. It's going to go, into the arc furnace port, and into the autolathe port. And these will both have power. We use our crowbar to pull it open. And then we just put a battery in that slot right there. Empty? Empty autoclave? What do you mean by empty? One of them. Okay, is the autoclave a metal frame? If the autoclave is a metal frame, then you just want to look at it with a tool in your hand, and it's going to tell you what you need to build it. Like, if you look at it with, like, a crowbar or something, then it should pop up and say, like, 2 iron plates and a welding torch. Something like that. Yeah, if it's just a frame, then you can just like if it looks, let's see, angle grinder, wire cutters. Yeah, if it looks like this, then it's just not constructed yet. So then you can just look. Angle grinder. Then you can just look at it with, like, any tool. Almost any tool. And it will tell you what it needs for you to build it. Put on iron sheets. And then it says we want 4 cable coils. And we have those in our tool belt. You just pull out the cable coils. Put those on. And then it wants a welding torch and 2 plastic sheets. And then finally, it wants a screwdriver. And there you got it. A bunch of machines are like that, where they make you, like, put stuff onto them. Oh, I'm thirsty. Hey, where's my uniform? Did I forget to take that off of a body? That's unfortunate. That's very unfortunate. Honestly, if I die of thirst, I'm just going to respawn and come back. That's what I'm going to do. We're going to not worry about thirst right now. I'm going to not even try not to die. It's happening. Sometimes I don't get a bag of chips because I'm trying to save money. And then later I'm really mad at myself because I didn't get a bag of chips. But such is life in the big city, as they say. So the printer mod is something you can put on later to upgrade it. So we don't need that right now. Because we don't have the stuff to build that. But that's like an upgrade later. So once it's talking about the printer mod, you're good. It's built. Good to go. And then we just put our power controller and plug it in. I'm going to put a battery in it. And then I'm going to flip the switch. And if we set it up, if we wired it correctly, this guy will light up when we turn it on. Beautiful. And that'll actually let us click on this magnifying glass button. And we can see all the stuff that we can build with the printer, with the autolathe. Which is a lot of stuff. And this is not even upgraded. And it's a lot of stuff. Which I might start out by printing out a new suit. Because I kind of messed this one up. But for that we need materials. So. Once we're at this point, we've got a working arc furnace. We've got a working autolathe. Now we just need materials, which we can get those pretty easy. So I'm just gonna wait to just for confirmation that everything is working, that we're looking good before we move on. I'm just gonna make the greenhouse walls green, because I feel like it. To turn it on and turn it off? That's just this switch, this red switch right here. Oh.
Health low.
Okay, if it's facing wrong, then you can just like when you're holding the cable and you're placing it, if it's facing wrong like that, then you can just hit C and it'll rotate it. Like that. So you want it to be facing so that everything looks connected. If we do this, then these two would be connected to each other, but there's no power source. If we did this, then at least the autolathe would be powered, and the arc furnace would be not powered. We want it all to look visually connected. We could do that with C, or with delete, page up, page down, home, end, those keys nobody uses. But C, if you're on a laptop, C is the easiest. You just mash C until it looks like you want it to look. It's a lot of learning. It's a lot of learning. Like I feel like it's worth it learning. Like once you've got it, it's really fun to just do all this stuff. But it's a lot of learning. The power system. For now, it's just make sure that's the output. Make sure you want to make sure that your power controller has the lightning bolt facing where you want the power going. The data symbol is where power comes in. Lightning bolt is where power comes out. Want that facing these guys. You want to make sure you're plugged into the power and not the data on the autolathe. And you want to make sure all the cables look connected. And if that's working, this should light up when you turn it on. Well, when there's, when there's power. I'll just leave that open. How about that? I'll just leave that open. Yes, so it will only work if the cable is going into this port. So you can't run a cable like in there or in through the body. It won't do anything. It's gotta come in through the front of the autolathe where it's got the lightning bolt. It's the only place that'll take it. And then on the arc furnace, it's gotta come in through the front where there's the lightning bolt. We can't come in through the back where there's the data. So it's gotta, if you faced your machines wrong, your options are one of two things. You can either route, well, three things. You can either rebuild the machines so that they're closer and facing toward it, an option. Or you can build your cables to snake around to wherever you've got the input port connected in. You'll just use more cables. Or you could just pick up your power controller and you can just put your, you can literally just put your, I've done this before. You just put your power controller like right next to the machine like this. So there's just like one cable between the machine and the port. And if you have to use it on a different machine, pick it up and go put it over there. That is a genuine option. I have done that before and it works. You know, you power your arc furnace, you run your arc furnace until you don't need it anymore.
Power low.
And then you move it over to the arc furnace. That. And then you power your arc furnace or your autoclave like that. So, however you choose to do it, you can either move your machines, route extra cables to get everything connected, or just move your power controller around how you want it. Like most engineering concepts, there's you got options. Soon I will die. And that is okay, because then I will respawn. The water. Two out of three. The 3 is the autolathe, the arc furnace, and then the power controller that runs them. And if needed, you can just plug the power controller like straight into the machine that you want to use like this. Because the power controller is where the energy comes from. So when you're using a machine, it just needs to be connected to some power controller with a battery in it that's turned on. If you plug them both in, then you can just use both. But we only need one at a time. You could just plug it into your arc furnace and leave it like that, because that's the first one we'll need. And then just make sure that that lightning bolt is facing the right direction. For the machine.
Health critical.
Oh, my health is critical. How fun. If you've got it connected right, then if you flip the switch on this guy, on the power controller, and flip the switch on this guy, on the arc furnace, it should turn green and hum. That means everything's connected. await death. I'm at the point where I wanna start mining some stuff and get some materials, but I don't wanna go out, start mining, and then die. So I just wanna die real quick. I can leave without dying. So the only side that's going to work is this side with the lightning bolt on the power controller. That guy is the only one. The side with the data logo, the side with the green logo, that's just going to be in, power in. So anything you plug into that side isn't going to work. I'll show you. If we plug in, we've got both of these guys plugged in. But this guy's connected to the output, and this guy's connected to the input. We turn this on. This side will turn on, no problem. This side, completely dead. Because power is trying to come in here and out there. So only this side is going to get power. So if you want to power multiple things, you just do it like this. You would just do it like this so that both of these are connected to the output. Yep. I died. Did I? Oh, there we go. Respawn. Death. Alright. So we got our working machines. Now it's time to use them. Just put my stuff back on. Perfect. You can go over there. Okay. So. The auto lathe here, this lets us build stuff so we can make items. The arc furnace lets us smelt ore into ingots. So with these together, all we need is some ingots and we can start producing some stuff. So. If you open your jetpack, the jetpack has a mining belt. Let's put that on by dragging it to your belt slot down here. We open it up, you got a drill, and you got a pickaxe. These both work, but if you guessed that the drill is faster, you're correct. So I'm going to grab the drill. When you're wearing the mining belt, any ore that you mine up will automatically get sucked into the ore spot instead of falling on the ground. So we want to be wearing the mining belt. We'll grab the drill. Let's go find some more. Careful not to get lost. It's easy to get lost. Try not to get lost. There's a tracker we can use for that, but let's not overcomplicate it. For right now, just stay close enough to the base that you can see it. That'll keep you from getting lost. And if a storm hits, just burrow into the ground and don't move. So let's look for 2 ores. We want to find iron, which looks like this. Kind of brown, kind of chunky. Looks a little bit like chocolate. And peanut butter. Looks like the inside of a Reese's Pieces. Or a Reese's... Reese's... What do you call the normal Reese's? What is that called? Reese's Cup. That's what it's called. It looks like the inside of a Reese's Cup. A little bit. Just mine it up. You can see it's going in here in the mining belt. Grab some iron. Just a bit. Enough to make a new suit. I hope we're not making a nude. Is that really all the iron? I think that is all the iron here. Okay. Lights. Oh, close one. There's the base. I'm gonna refill my oxygen real quick before that's not the base. Uh-oh. Where's the base? Oh, boy. I should have set up the tracker. Oh, man. I forgot to look at the compass. I don't remember at all which direction the base is in. This way? I'm just gonna walk in a big circle until I find it. Walk in a big circle. I can't believe I can't. This is such a rookie move. I was like, now, oh, there it is. I was like, now, don't lose the base. That would be terrible. And then I immediately lost the base. Okay. All right. Tool belt back on. Pry this door open. Okay, oxygen. Oxygen tank. Big oxygen tank. Good, good, good. And this hazard guy on the front. Put my air tank in.
Air tank critical.
And there we go.
Air tank critical.
Pull up. Just so I don't get out there mining and then realize I have to turn around and come back. Just put it in.
Air tank
take
critical.
it out. This little hazard zone. Yep, that should be the thing. Okay. Back here we go. Hey, I found my jumpsuit. Huh, wonder how I got over here. Cool. Got my outfit back. Oops. Alright, you know what I'm gonna do because I'm afraid of getting lost again? I'm gonna set up the tracker. That's easy enough to do. So later on, we can make more oxygen tanks so that we could just quick swap them. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, I think I know it. Okay, if your oxygen tank isn't filling, it is possible that the valve got left open. And if the valve got left open, if you look at it and it says output is anything bigger than 0, that probably means that all the oxygen leaked out. Which would be a problem. I think on normal difficulty, that is a fixable problem. Because what might happen is you might run out of air. And then you might die. But you'll respawn with a suit that works. And then you can try to build an oxygen system. Which we can do now. That should not be too hard. Because we've got the auto lathe set up and we've got the arc furnace. So if we do a little bit of mining, let me think. Okay, step 1 is if you're gonna die, if you're low on oxygen, stay near the base. You don't want to lose your body. So that's step 1. Step 2, I'd recommend finding this tracking beacon. You've got a tracking beacon. I think it's in the blue box when you start. You can turn this on so that it's glowing like that. And then when you get your tablet, if you put the tracker cartridge in your tablet, it will tell you where your base is. And so if you get out mining, you lose your base, it'll just tell you. It'll just tell you where the base is. Very, very useful. That way you don't have to keep track of directions and left and right and how many degrees on my compass and was it that hill or was it that mountain. You just set up the tracker and then you live your life. And then when you want to come home, you turn it on and you come find it. And just make sure that battery doesn't run dead or it'll stop telling you where it is. So oxygen tank, schmoxygen tank. We don't need these. Optional. Okay, so we've got our tracker set up. We've got our tablet with the tracking card in it. We should be good to go. We just gotta mine a bit so we can get an oxygen setup going. If the tracking beacon is not going down, okay, yeah, you can't right click it down, but you can just throw it. Either with Q or with T. You could just, like, chuck it on the ground, and it will work. Because it's not even a machine, it's like an item. So you can, like, throw it. You could just drop it down, however. And you just want to make sure that it's lit up. If it's lit up, you're good to go. If it's not lit up, then when you pull out your thing, it'll say a question mark. And that's not what you want. Okay. You just make the tracking. Make sure the tracking beacon's down. And we're ready to mine. Batteries plenty charged. So, let's look for a little more iron and some copper. That'll let us replace our suit. We want to replace our suit. We want an ice crusher. Here's iron. It'll tell you what ore you're looking at if you're holding a drill and you look at it. But that'll help you. You don't have to guess. You're getting the right thing. Let's grab some of this iron. We're at 32. I'm going to go for like 50. 50 should be enough. Where'd the ore go? Come on. Come on, iron. Where'd you go to? That's a good amount of iron. A little extra. Never hurts. Iron is one of those things where it's hard to have too much. Especially when you start doing hydroponics. It's really hard to have too much. And our oxygen system. We'll need a bunch of iron for our oxygen system. And then we want to grab some copper. Copper looks like gray rock with like little veins in it. Like orange veins. Ooh, some gold. Okay, since I found some, I'm just going to grab it. Also, when I'm mining, what I do is I'll leave one chunk on the surface so that I know that's where some gold is. So that if I need more gold later, I can come back and look more in this area. That's just something I like to do because it makes my life easier. I'll just leave a chunk on the surface and I won't mine it. So now if I have a big hole in the ground and I ever come back and go, what's this hole? I see it and I go, oh, it's a gold mine. There's a good amount of gold over here. This tool is the mining drill. So this is in this belt. So it comes in this belt that's usually in your jetpack. So you just grab your mining belt and you drag it to your belt slot, put it on, and then you can just pull the mining drill out of your mining belt and get mining. It turns on and off with the right click, just like a welding torch. What am I mining anyway? On this Minecraft day. So beautiful. If that song is copyrighted, I'm gonna laugh very hard. I don't think it is. There's some oxite. This blue stuff, this is oxite. This contains oxygen. So I'm actually gonna grab a little bit of this. Just like not too much. Just some. You want the oxite. That's how we're gonna get our oxygen to refill our suit later. More gold. There's a little copper, man. Copper's not supposed to be that hard to find. Here's copper. This is what copper looks like. That's copper. Mine up the copper. Leave one chunk on the surface. How I like to do it. This drill is really good just for like if you want to flatten the terrain as well for building. You just grab it. In fact, it's got a mode on it right here, set flatten, and that will flatten everything to the same spot of wherever you started drilling. So it's really nice for like just sort of terraforming. You know, you just want to make a little platform by your base or something. It's really cool. But I'm not doing that. I'm doing default because I just want to tear stuff up for colonizing. And since there's some silicon here, I'm just gonna take it. Because I need that soon anyways. Oh, it doesn't hurt. I think I saw you can also make a cardboard box now with silicon. And I'm a bit intrigued as to what that does. See, it sounds very useful. That's enough of that. I need more copper. Where's more copper? I want to get at least like 30 copper. 30, 40 copper. Copper. Here's some copper. Now, it's very important to not die while you're mining. Because if you're far away from your base and then you die, and you can't find your body, it's a problem. And then if a storm hits and sweeps your body away, playthrough's probably done. Like, maybe not. You might be able to salvage it, but, like, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. Because you'd at least need a pickaxe. I'm trying to think if you spawn with a pickaxe in easy. You might. Alright, I think I got everything I need, so I'm going to turn around and go home. You want to make sure you leave your drill off, by the way. If you put it away while it's on, it'll just keep sucking power. So I'll just turn off. And I'll grab my tablet. And home is that way. There it is. Okay. Okay. I'm home. Got ores. I'm gonna turn on my arc furnace. I'm gonna stick in some iron in the front. And we're gonna turn it on. And that's going to suck power like a mosquito on a baby horse. And it's going to heat up that ore and smelt it. This also generates a lot of heat. And it also generates some pollutants. But it makes the ore. So heck the environment, I guess. You do what you gotta do. And we're about to run out of power. And when that happens, I'm just gonna put in another battery. Yep, it stopped because we're out of power. Put this actually. Oh no, it just finished. It's great. Put that aside. Use some copper. Oh. Coughing. Now it's getting low. Copper takes a little bit longer to smelt than iron does. That was because we're out of power. Swap this guy in, and we will go again. Yeah, copper takes quite a long time to smelt. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna set up our portable generator. And I'm going to solar panel. Where did we put our generator? Where did I put that? Oh, here it is. And I'm going to set that up. Yep. Iron is definitely needed. We need iron, copper, and gold. And if you can find a little silicon, even better. Ah, yes. Setbacks, they happen. They happen. And if you're out of oxygen, dying might happen sometimes. So, it is what it is. But yeah, iron, copper, gold. Those are the most important. Which, we got our iron, we got our copper. I'm going to do a little bit of gold. Gold takes like... If you think copper takes a while to smelt, gold... Yeah, well, is it the same or is it worse? It's always felt worse. But it's looking like it's maybe the same. Yeah, iron and copper... They're... It's weird because your spawn... Sometimes you just don't find something near you that you need. But iron blends in a little. Cause these chunks like that, they're kind of terrain colored in the Martian soil. So it can kind of blend in. And then copper, sometimes copper just straight up doesn't spawn anywhere near you. I don't like how close this gas tank is to that heat, actually, so I'm going to move it over here. Seems a little unsafe. Copper. Okay, if you're struggling to find ore, another thing is, in residential supplies, there's a cartridge called Ore Scanner. And if you put that in your tablet instead of the tracker, and you can just keep the tracker chip with you, it will show you what is under the ground. And they recently made this easier. There used to be a whole like scanner item you would drop down and stuff. But it shows you a color. And the color indicates what kind of ore it is. Like if I come over here to the iron. No, well it just says blue. But it'll at least tell you where ore is in the ground. At least tell you where ore is. I think there might be an upgraded one that has colors. And the gold is done. Yeah. Oh yeah, let's go. Okay. For bonus, I'm gonna put in a silicon. Smoke that. Okay. I'm going to take these ingots that I just smelted, and I'm just going to put them into the side of the autolathe. There's a port, a chute here. You can put your ingots in. Like that. Now we got stuff in our autolathe. And first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to print out a new suit. New suit and new helmet. There it goes. What if that helmet doesn't need silicone for the glass? Who knows? Okay, I got a new suit. I got a new helmet. I'm gonna open the suit and swap all the stuff in from my current suit, and I'm gonna do it really fast so I don't die.
Power critical. Filter critical. Waste tank critical. Air tank critical.
And there we go. I've just swapped suits without a pressurized environment, and that's called changing really fast. I've been practicing that my whole life. And look, the hissing is done. The hissing has stopped. Isn't that great? It's because air isn't leaking anymore. Charge up this battery. And, silicone. Yeah, put that in. Alright. I want to check out what this cardboard box is. How does this work? I have a sneaking suspicion that I know what this does. Cardboard box. Okay. Put duct tape in it. Insert. And I'll put in, what do we got? Silicone? Put that in there. Yeah, I guess it just lets you move a bunch of stuff. That's still pretty useful, even if you can't access the inventory, because what you can do, I guess, is you can just pull all the stuff out and put it on the ground, and you can pack it back in after. That's not bad. Like, if you want to move a bunch of things, like, well, actually, let me use this. We'll put our residential supplies in here. Put all the paint in here. Okay, it's full. And now I'll bring this inside. Wow, that's actually gonna make my life a lot easier. Okay, I'm gonna make a few more of those cardboard boxes. What else are we gonna need? Three of these should work. I'm just gonna clean up inside a little. Oops. Left the generator on. The battery was been full for a while. Turn that off. Take back my little canister. This stuff I really don't need anymore. Yeah, that helps. What else we got? I think what we need to build next to get oxygen going. So for me, I have oxygen in my tank. So I just walked up to the tank, and I just put my oxygen tank in there. Yeah, so if you're out of oxygen and your emergency suit dies, you're just gonna have to die and get a new emergency suit, which is not ideal. It's definitely inconvenient. But we'll work on getting oxygen set up. Hey, you know, the reason I thought of that is because I have done that before. You know, there's a lot that can go wrong when there's so many moving parts. Turns out starting a Mars colony is kind of difficult. So it happens. You know, it could be worse. Your oxygen tank could have exploded. So We got... That just means we got to speed run oxygen, which if you've got... Once you get iron, gold, and copper, that is quite possible. We just need... There is a machine called the hydraulic pipe bender. We just need one of those. That's gonna give us pipes, ice crusher, and canisters. So let's make that. I'm gonna make a hydraulic pipe bender. And while this thing is going, if you want to keep it from automatically trying to make a second one when it's done, you just hit an arrow. So it's making something else, and then it won't loop. But we want to get that hydraulic pipe bender built. Look at this. Respawn point probably isn't necessary. I need sorters. No power to machines. So the green bit is the input. The red side is the output. So you want... That's why my green side is disconnected. You want the lightning bolt side, the red side, to be connected to stuff. I wish there was like painted on or something, an arrow, like an in or an out, but there's not. But you kind of learn to memorize. Oh, okay, the data side is in, and the power side is out on power controllers. But these, it's more straightforward because they're separated. But this side is power in and data. It's unintuitive. I don't know why they chose to do it that way, to be honest. But they did. Beautiful sunrise. Yep. Oxygen. I think like everything we need is in the pipe bender. Access bridge, that's new. Door, floor greeting. Furnace, that's important. We'll want one of those soon. Lights. Alright. Pipe bender's done. We build that the same way we built the auto lathe. I'm gonna go get a frame. No, I'm not gonna get a frame. Let's not overcomplicate things. I'm gonna put this... Put that there. And then I'm gonna... Where? Ah, there. Yep. It's melting. Very nice. Heck yeah. this want? Iron sheets. And you are not very far behind. Because once you're smelted, then you just need to stick it in the autolathe and make the pipe bender. And you're pretty much... so after smelting, when it drops the ingots, you just bring them around to the side of the autolathe, and you put them into this chute. And that loads it into the autolathe so that you can craft with it. And then on the autolathe, you just search for the pipe bender. And that takes 20 iron, 2 gold, and 10 copper. So you just put 20 gold, 20 iron, 2 gold, 10 copper in this side, and then you hit the green button, and then it'll make you a pipe bender. And you build it up just like the autolathe. Need plastic? Yes, it does need plastic. Up. If you run out of wires, by the way, you can print more wires in the autolathe. Cable coils. They just take copper. Very handy. Another thing. When you're wiring, it's annoying. Like, if you're, like here. If I want to connect this. Well, it's red, so I can't connect this. But when you're holding wire cutters in your other hand, you can splice the wire in, the cable in. That just saves a little bit of time. But you can also just tear it up with the wire cutters and put in the new one. But if you have your wire cutters in your hand, you can just kind of splice a new cable in just like this. And it'll just kind of extend the existing cable, which is nice. Time saver. And I think I'm just gonna mine up a little. Actually, smelt. I'm gonna smelt up a little more iron. Since I got a little extra. And we're going to charge this up more. Yep. Manufacturing. Once you've got using the autolathe figured out, you can pretty much figure out the entire rest of the game. Like pretty much, like the autolathe, getting a manufacturing setup with the autolathe is the key to everything else in this game. The electronics printer is important. The pipe bender is important. And then the furnace is important. There's also, if you hit F1, there's a whole help system called the Stationpedia. And you can search for anything. Like if I search for smelting, you get the guide for smelting. And that tells you what you need and how to set it up. That's where you see the furnace is how we get alloys. And all that. You can search for an item, so say, I don't know, large battery. Charge battery. Oh, look, you crafted an electronics printer. And it tells you what it takes. You want oxygen. You got oxygen. It's created by plants and oxide. And you got some data for its melting points and stuff. So the Stationpedia is super useful. The guides here are probably the closest thing you've got to the tutorial. You've got thirst and hydration, smelting, hunger, construction. This is what talks about the build states. So the F1 menus, very helpful. If you want to figure out how to get a certain thing, you can look it up in here and see where it's crafted. Fabricators, autolathe, and it shows you your build states, what you need, iron sheets, cable coils. So F1 is very useful. F1 is very, very useful. Okay, our iron. Put that over here, actually. That's still charging. I'm just kind of amassing materials right now. Figure I may as well. Seems like a pretty good use of time. You know, amassing and whatnot. I see that tracker battery is still in the yellow or orange. So I'm still okay to leave the base without getting killed by a storm stranding me. I'd love to get a bunch of copper because I run through cables like crazy. I feel like I am always afraid to print more cables because I'm trying to conserve resources, but I always need more cables. Why not? I'll get more oxide. Because we're making oxygen. That's water ice. I don't want that. Okay, that's just the one filter that's low. I'm fine. I can ignore that warning. Where's the copper? This is nitrice. It has nitrogen. What does nitrice have? Yep, nitrogen. Just nitrogen. And nitrous oxide is useful for making like super combustible gases later on. Nitrous oxide is that stuff that they pump into engines. Like the turbo button. You know, it's like some crazy people will hook up a system where they can spray nitrous oxide into their combustion system of their car because it makes it combust harder. It's the same thing. When we get to like mixing gases and stuff and making explosives, that's fun. One time, my friend and I accidentally vented explosive hydrogen gas into our base. And then I needed to weld something, so I pulled out my welder and turned it on. And then our entire base exploded. And we had no idea what just happened. So we just sat there in disbelief and then like burst out laughing. It sounds very tragic, and I guess it was, but it was really funny. It was just very unexpected. The most fun I've had in this game has been the disasters, quite honestly. Just because they're so unexpected. And the disasters pretty much always happen because you like missed something. And so it's just fun because it makes the stakes high. Like you don't want to miss anything. Here's copper. And I gotta get home because I'm about to die and I do not want to die far from base where I won't find my body. So I'm not gonna stick around here for long. That was poor planning on my part. Should have died before I left. Dying is not really that bad on normal difficulty as long as you die in the right spot. As long as you were expecting to die, it's really no big deal. It's when it catches you by surprise and you're like far from base and don't know where your body was, that's a serious problem. That is a catastrophic problem. That's why I'm going to go home now. Out. Grab the copper. Smelt some more copper. Put it there. I will be dying any second. I may as well put all the stuff for the airlock in this cardboard box. Yeah, look at that. Got all our airlock stuff kind of out of the way. We're looking good. Producing a good amount of materials. Our pipe bender. We got our autolathe. Looking good. Okay, we'll smelt up our iron. Put it in here. Ah, there we go. Normal difficulty. Not a big deal. We died the base. Not a big deal. We just take all the stuff. Grave Robin.
Power low.
Yep. And check this guy over there because you're expendable. Imagine it's like the conundrum of like if you clone yourself, then is your clone gonna like rise up and steal your identity? I feel like every time I die, I'm the clone. So sorry, buddy. Okay, out of power. Just constantly cycling my batteries out. When they die, I just stick them in the generator. How's our pressure? Oh, we still have loads of pressure in our gas tank. That's good. We're still well in the green.
Waste tank caution.
Waste tank caution. I'm gonna kind of just leave that to fill up because I'm hoping I can get my airlock running, because then I can start venting my CO2 into the greenhouse, since, you know, plants kind of like that. CO2 and all. It's kind of what they breathe. And we got more iron. What am I gonna make with this? Could make container mounts. Floor gridding would be nice. Lockers would help. Lockers. I'm gonna set up a locker inside just to kind of organize things a little bit. It's getting kind of crazy in here. I mean, not crazy by my standards, but crazy by probably other people's. Just gonna set up. Yeah, I'm gonna set up a locker. There. That's funny. You can put cardboard boxes in the lockers even when they have stuff in them. It's convenient. Alright, it's looking much more organized in here. Alright. Alright, I think it's time for... time for to try to get an oxygen setup going. So I think first thing we're gonna need is an ice crusher. Yeah, we're gonna need an ice crusher. It needs a little gold. You can pull this white lever, and it's gonna dump everything out of your machine. So I'm just using that to steal the gold from the auto lathe. Run it over here. Put it back up, and I'll put these back in. Ice crusher, good. That battery's coming along. I'm going to swap the good battery with the one on the tracker. Yep. I'm going to turn that on just in case I forget and leave. Got an ice crusher. Let's get some liquid pipes. What else? Actually, while we're at it, let's make a cardboard box for all this. I think I'm gonna love these cardboard boxes. I think I'm gonna really love them. They make my life much easier. I have like 10 of those. That should do it. Put those in. What else are we gonna need? Oh, out of power. Okay. Another active vent would be really great. Yep. Drinking fountain. Let's stick with a water bottle. A water bottle filler for now. Which, let's search for that. Bottle filler. We need silicone for that. You have some. That's what we wanted. Put that back in. Silicon in there. We'll make it. This is in here. Okay. Put that in. Alright, what else are we gonna need? We might need a pipe heater to get the water warm enough to actually put in. How hard is that? That's easy to make. I'll make what? I'll make a pipe heater. Ice crusher. We got one of those hydroponic trays. Pipes. Yes. So this is the autolathe, and this is the hydraulic pipe bender. You can make the hydraulic pipe bender in the autolathe. Yeah, the red is the autolathe, the blue is the pipe bender. So all I did was I smelted a bunch of ore. I searched for the pipe bender, and I crafted it with the autolathe. And then I set it up and built it right next to it. And this guy, the pipe bender, is all the stuff for gases and liquids. Pipes and radiators and canisters and all that is made in here. So this is how we're going to get our oxygen setup going, as well as sustainable water. Which I think I know exactly how I want to do this. Gonna make a portables connector. I'm gonna grab. Off. One of these guys has all my paint in it. Tables. Microwave. Made a soup. It's the red paint, white paint. That's what I wanted. Just put all the paint in one box. My paint. Is back in. Wait. Ice crusher can go in this box. Oh, bro, it is 1 a.m. Okay. No problem. Work is important. I probably should be wrapping up soon as well. We've got a pretty good setup. We've got all the materials we need for water and oxygen in a box. We've got all the stuff for the airlock in a box. We got a pipe bender, we got an autolathe, and smelting setup. Our power situation is doing just fine. We should be we're in pretty good shape. So next time we can get oxygen fixed, which I've got a hack solution for getting that online fast without it being perfect. And we can expand into getting more sustainable power set up. And we'll be looking good. So I think that should do it for this episode. And hopefully next episode we'll get sustainable and get some food and water, oxygen. And we'll be fighting to survive a little bit less. meantime, don't die, and happy engineering. And until next time.